Fair warning, I also recorded this video before the finale, so I have no idea what's going to happen in the finale, so I mean, there's literally no spoilers on this video. The Lego Bad Batch. Now, I am a huge fan of the Bad Batch that Star Wars has been coming out with for the past couple years. Season 3, I will say, has been phenomenal, with very few little minor nitpicks I can even say about it. But honestly, it's been one of my favorite Star Wars shows, and honestly, it's for truly hardcore Star Wars fans at this point, especially fans of the prequels and Clone Wars show. And honestly, like, at this point, the one thing that's, like, kind of on everyone's mind is, like, this is really the only stuff we have for Bad Batch. Now, granted, there is the Justifier Lego set, and I also say, like, I can't even justify purchasing that set, even when it was even at $100. So at this point for me, this is the only Bad Batch set I have, including the Omega figure that I had to buy separately. I waited until the Advent calendar came out, but even then, I just bought it off Bricklink. So I do have every Bad Batch member, and you're like, okay, well, wait, why is AZ even in here? This is from Republic Bricks. That, I mean, I can't remember if I even got it for like one of the like the free like shipping things or whatever. Maybe I paid like $5 for it. I don't remember. I just got it from Republic Bricks. It's pretty sick. It's pretty sweet. I thought it would round out all my characters, especially since I have Gonky from the Bad Batch shuttle anyway. And that's what I kind of really wanted to talk about is, first of all, I want to look back at this set that came out almost 3 years ago of August of 2021. That came out literally right after season 1 just dropped, and it was that perfect set that I was like, okay, well, now it finally got made right after the first season. And then sadly, in the middle of season 3, it's now blown up and now destroyed. So sadly, like, this ship is kind of like how I feel about like the Razor Crest. But honestly, I've had way more of an attachment to the Marauder than I ever had with the Razor Crest, because honestly, I just kind of I like vibe this look a lot better. It's just a like modified like Republic shuttle essentially, and then they made it kind of a home, even though it was never made to be like a cargo vessel or like a place where you would want to live. You know, it was just a transport shuttle here to there, so it makes a lot of sense, or it doesn't really make sense, but it makes sense within the show. And then they included 2 speeder bikes, and pretty much all the Bad Batch members except for Omega, they came in the Justifier and the Advent calendar. And at this point, I think with Bad Batch, the thing that I kind of feel the most disappointed in is that besides like 2.5 sets in Lego, they haven't really, fully embraced how much stuff they could do with Lego Bad Batch right now. I mean, my biggest pitch right now is honestly just do a battle pack, or an Imperial Commando battle pack, or even just a TK Trooper battle pack, just something with it, or combine both. Honestly, there's just so many great ideas they can do, especially since there's so much part of that lore and that era in Star Wars where I feel like there's so many ships they can do. And honestly, this is bare minimum. They could literally just do an Imperial V-Wing again. Because honestly, this was from 2011, and then the last one I think was 2016 they last did a V-Wing, the red one. They should just honestly do an Imperial V-Wing like this again. And I think honestly for like $30, this would be like a perfect set to for like Star Wars, like, for it would fill the prequel and original trilogy, and also filling out the Bad Batch as a whole. Because honestly, this is from Revenge of the Sith technically, an extended universe stuff, because this is seen at the end of Revenge of the Sith. So no joke, next year when it is the anniversary for Revenge of the Sith, I kind of think this is a perfect set and would fill in the Bad Batch. You could just throw in a Bad Batch minifigure, maybe even a TK Trooper in that kind of set. That is my biggest pitch for 2025. I've actually always wanted to mention this, by the way, too. So Wrecker's little like armor plate right here, I've always liked this because in the set that I've gotten, I don't think anyone else has actually gotten it besides me. When I got it like day one, because I ordered day one, they gave me an extra one of these, and I'm not sure if this was intentional for the set, but in the instructions and the inventory, there was only one of these pieces, but I got 2 of these pieces. And honestly, I always thought the Wrecker armor plate, I mean, it's perfect for him. Actually works very well for Hunter, honestly, as well, just with like kind of like the shaping a little bit of it. I'm kind of like, because Hunter is a good figure, but I feel like, looks a tiny bit barer of bones, honestly, and I do think it looks better with this. I mean, it just does look so much better, honestly, with that kind of armor plate. I always kind of prefer it, but, like, you guys can have, like, your own opinions with that, if you like it or not, honestly, if you want to comment what you think about that kind of thing. But I do want to just go over one last thing. It's honestly just these minifigures. I mean, I think they nailed a lot of the minifigure designs, and honestly, I mean, besides, like, the obvious, like, okay, Echo maybe should have had its own unique arm, just little arm, like, I mean, I gotta just say with the minifigures, I think there's only two things that most people can usually agree on. I think Echo should have had a more unique arm, even though I'm fine with just, you know, just having more gray arm. It's able to hold stuff, even though, like, you know, he technically can't do that. I do think, honestly, I do like this Omega from the Season 1 variant, but I do prefer a Season 2 and 3 variant at this point in LEGO Star Wars that they can make, and hopefully they will. You know, Tech is an interesting mold. I do actually really dig it, but honestly, I'm surprised that we haven't just gotten a regular Crosshair, like, just in his, like, original Bad Batch uniform. We only have his Imperial version, and I do think that's, like, the only, like, to be honest, like, I can take or leave a new Omega, honestly, but I do really think having Crosshair's original armor, especially since it showed back up in Season 3, I love his Imperial look, honestly, and it's one of the most unique Stormtrooper variants, technically, as well. I mean, all of them are all unique Clone Trooper variants. I'm glad we all have, like, all these figures, but I feel like that's really the only thing with this, with anything they do in the future, and would really top off what I really think Bad Batch is just kind of one of the most underrated and underutilized themes or sub-themes in the LEGO Star Wars as a whole, because I do think they could do a lot. And honestly, with, like, I mean, this just Royal Republic perks, but I feel like there's just so much potential in a lot of characters and a lot of things in Clone Wars and Bad Batch that it could really pull from at this point, and honestly just make maybe another set or two at least, hopefully by next year. I'm vouching for a V-Wing, bare minimum. Like, V-Wing is just also Revenge of the Sith, so that's why I'm even putting this in this idea realm right now. And you can even see right there, I have, like, a custom Republic Commando right there, and honestly, that's just more Imperial Commando at this point. So, like, you know, people want those kind of figures right there. It would be perfect. But let me know what you guys all think about a more LEGO Bad Batch sets, and maybe if they do another animated show that's rumored by Dave Filoni right now, what do you think they'll make, and what will they do?